Hello, it is the 16th of May 2011. Welcome to today's silver log. And it was interesting when I made the video yesterday on the gold to silver ratio. I seen a couple comments stating, well, who are all these people giving it the dislikes and where are all the haters coming from? And after 156 views, there were 8 likes and 5 dislikes. So let's do some technical analysis on this. Since this point, it only received 2 more dislikes. I find that very interesting. So why would this be the case? Most likely, it was somebody saying with a few friends, hey, give this video a thumbs down, and up to 5 people, up to 4 or 5 most likely were within this, and you would know who you are. Also, maybe it's another account, but when I continue on with this technical analysis, as we move on from the 284 to 301, this thing was added on from here. Because when you get to 301, that means it stops counting for a little while. And at this mark, there was 21 thumbs up and 6 down. The majority of the thumbs up comes on the earlier stages because that's the subscribers, people who like these videos, and for the most part, they're the ones that like the videos the most. And when it went from, say, 878 to 1400, there were only 2 people that gave it a thumbs up and nobody giving it a thumbs down, which is kind of interesting. Another thing that I noticed is how it went from showing views on here, and that totally was taken away. Anyway, let's now move on, because if there's no comments stating the video sucked because of this, I'm not going to think that the work was done poorly. Let's now move on to the technical analysis, the short-term chart. The pattern here is that of a head and shoulders, but it hasn't really broke down below the neckline. Support is massive now, roughly at this 34 level. Let's do this with a straight line instead. I do that quite a bit. This is the significant support that it needs to hold, roughly at around 34. And we've had a lot of tests in this area. 1, 2, 3, and if we come back down here again, that will be the 4th one. It most likely would bring a fast move down to this previous low here, roughly at about 32, and then breaking that, the major level, roughly at around 31. Now, I've been mentioning that I'm waiting to buy either on a break lower or for confirmation within this 5-day moving average. Well, I've already purchased. I purchased over the weekend, and the reason why is because if I wait to go down to 30, 20, 31, it's not going to be that much of a savings, considering I'm not really buying that much, but enough where the strategy I like to use is buy every 2, 3, 4 weeks, and then just keep on slowly but surely adding towards the collection in that manner. Now, I'm still going to be stating when the buy signals on strength come into play, because it's no longer now just waiting for the 5-day moving average to show a buy signal, but the 5 as well as the 50, because the 5 shows a buy signal. When this average can start to flatten out, the market is higher, and then it will start to move higher from them. So you need to see the market. The 5-day moving average, I've shown it before and I'll show it again, but it's got to be above the rising 5-day moving average. And then, of course, it's also got to be above a rising 50-day moving average as well. Alrighty, so if we manage to break towards the upside, the next support level or resistance level is going to be the 5-day moving average. It was resistance last week at this level. If it holds the 34 area, it does increase the chances of taking it out, because it's another set of support levels, a nice support level. But right now it's had more tests of 34. I'd be looking for a break lower, but I don't know. This is the volatility. This is the second time I've shown this chart. The blue line represents the average of the last 2 days, and the orange line the last 10 days. And the percentage moves from bottom to top. And I don't know about you, but I'm looking at this inverted head and shoulders pattern possibility. Based on the length, this should bring us up to 3%. I don't know if you can use an inverted head and shoulders pattern here, but I have to think, yeah, because of the way that it works out, because you come down, you make a higher low, you make the same top, you make a lower low. So are you breaking down? No, because you didn't find resistance here, and you come back to its previous level and then make a higher low. It's very, very, I'm not going to say bullish, but when you see this pattern, it usually means that the chart's going to move higher. This chart represents what the annual gains for silver has been going back to 1969. This tells you the percentage gains per year you would have if you have purchased silver on December 31st of that year. So in 2008, you are seeing over a 45% gain year over year, compounded interest. The worst year is 1979, where you're barely having any gains whatsoever because the price is barely above it. This could be a lot of reason why we've seen a lot of profit taking, because of the old school economics. You look for a decent sized gain and you profit take. The problem I see in this is that it's priced in fiat dollars. This is a chart on the buck. Yeah, do you know how we call money bucks? A nice little slang word. This is going back to 1968 as well. There's no dates on the bottom of the screen. But this is how the value of the dollar's been going. Yeah, it's going lower. A dollar of 1968 is worth like little. But this is logarithmic. Excuse me, this is linear. Let's switch this up to logarithmic. Okay, so I guess we're in a downtrend, I think. At least for the value of the dollar. Let me just draw a straight line and see if we can find where the direction of this trend happens to be taking us towards. I guess this is resistance. If we draw a parallel line with the support, that's not too parallel. See, we've already broken down below support. Now, these numbers are all estimates. They're definitely way, way, way unofficial. However, currency keeps losing money, and yet we've heard from Chairman Ben Bernanke earlier, a few weeks ago, we'll say, where it was the rising prices in gold and silver that caused so much inflation, and thus we are seeing gold and silver go higher with the reduction of the dollar. Pretty interesting how we've seen gold and silver lose well more than 50%, and in silver's case, well more than 90% from 1980 to 1995 when the dollar was losing value. So we've seen both the dollar lose value and silver lose value together within that time period.